just a short period into 2022 and already so much has happened in the world of professional wrestling. And then what better way to have some fun than to fantasy book and predict the rest of 2022 in WWE. Welcome to the Angles WWE 2022 Prediction Show. As always, I am your host, Joey Karni, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below to stay up to date with all the Angles activity right here on YouTube. Now, like I said, there has been so many things that already happened in just a few short weeks into 2022 in WWE, and we can only expect more of these things to come to fruition. New faces, new champions, new contenders, new everything across the board for WWE. I did one of these shows in 2021, and majority of the predictions I had did actually come true. They actually happened. So I hope this special follows suit. I'll be going over my top 10 predictions for WWE in the year of 2022. So let's get started right now with number 10. At number 10, we have Raw newcomer Austin Theory winning his first championship in WWE, and that is the United States Championship. Now, since being drafted to Monday Night Raw in late 2021, Theory has been in an ongoing storyline with Vince McMahon himself, where his future and skills are both tested. With multiple wins over the likes of Jeff Hardy and Finn Balor, it's only a matter of time before Theory makes his way up the mid-card scene to Damian Priest, who is the current United States Championship. This storyline with Vince McMahon is ultimately leading somewhere, and the United States Championship title reign would be the best payoff and make the most sense for the current storyline. Number 9 is pretty much a given to most wrestling fans. It's the official breakup of the most over tag team in WWE, and that is former Raw Tag Team Champions Riddle and Randy Orton, better known as RK Bro. Now, it may not seem like it, but this story has been in motion for quite some time, culminating with a Raw Tag Team title win at SummerSlam in 2021. Now, the duo have recently lost those tag team titles to Alpha Academy, which leads me to believe that the breakup is only just really upon us here, leading to a huge match at Wrestlemania in 2022. Now, regardless of what happens to RK Bro, it's been great watching this tag team entertain the WWE Universe and ultimately giving us some great moments on Monday Night Raw. Now, number 8 is purely fantasy booking. Looking up and down the rosters for both Raw and SmackDown, it's difficult to name the winners for both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches in 2022. Now, two names that stand out the most to me are the phenomenal AJ Styles and Bayley. AJ Styles recently ended his partnership with Omos and seems to be going the babyface route, even heading to NXT to help develop Grayson Waller. But this is all being done for some reason. Why is this all being done? Why is AJ's stock in WWE skyrocketing right around this time? I predict a Royal Rumble win for him to headline against Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, where he can hold the WWE Championship until a dream match with Edge. Now, Bayley, on the other hand, has been sidelined with an injury, so why claim her as the winner, you may ask? Well, looking at the entrance, Bayley would bring some shock value amongst the returns of names like Mickie James, Lita, and Summer Rae, and more. But a returning Bayley is what's needed to potentially end the reign of the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Bayley returning and winning the Royal Rumble and ultimately turning face to challenge Charlotte would create excellent TV and also great promos. Now, again, this is totally just fantasy booking, which is why I'm picking AJ Styles and Bayley to win the 2022 men's and women's Royal Rumble match. At number 7, well, for this one, I have just 2 words for you. X-Pac returns. On a recent episode of WWE's The Bump, X-Pac returned to WWE TV and claimed that he's healthy and ready to work, and he's just waiting for a call from WWE. Now, the Royal Rumble is an excellent spot to see the return of X-Pac, to see him get in the ring one more time, and honestly, you never know what it can spark. But what we do know is that if X-Pac were to return to WWE, and in the Royal Rumble specifically, something great would come from that, and ultimately something great down the road would come from that too. Now, number 6 is not too far-fetched, especially looking at the recent storylines in WWE. I predict that in 2022, Seth freaking Rollins becomes once again your WWE champion. Maybe later down the road, after Edge wins it, rekindling an old rivalry. But regardless of who the champion is, Seth freaking Rollins is on a roll, and it cannot be left high and dry. So the King of Drip needs to culminate this incredible run with some sort of gold. And what better way to do that than with another WWE title reign? And that would honestly be the best way to culminate this run. Now, number 5 may spark some controversy if you've been paying attention to the WWE headlines as of late, because this person is just at the top of that list. Now, a certain NXT UK transfer, Walter, now known as Gunther, I predict in 2022 wins the NXT Championship. Now, it was heavily discussed when Walter made the announcement that he was leaving NXT UK that maybe he'd become a part of either Raw or SmackDown. But now it's clear that he will be a part of NXT 2.0. He is the best heel persona to main event with the current champion Braun Breaker, and to really legitimize Breaker as a main event player. Now, Gunther and Imperium taking over NXT 2.0 would help create some room for the newcomers to put on fantastic matches and also earn their spots in NXT 2.0. It's just a shame that Gunther received the name change instead of Bronson Steiner, Braun Breaker. Now, for number 4, I briefly touched on earlier, and that is the ultimate and inevitable dream match between the rated R superstar Edge and the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Now, we don't know how much time we truly have left with either star, as AJ Styles has said he may retire after his current WWE deal ends. And the same goes for Edge. We don't know what the future holds, but after getting Edge versus Seth Rollins being one of the best feuds, if not the best feud of 2021, it's time to spark another dream scenario. And if this match were to happen, the match between Edge and AJ Styles, I'd plan to see it around SummerSlam time. But either way, I predict to see Edge versus AJ Styles sometime, somewhere in 2022. Now, number 3, I'm still a little iffy about, but once again, this is purely fantasy booking. And I predict to see, in 2022, Finn Balor and Io Shirai both win the 2022 Money in the Bank men's and women's matches. Now, why these choices, you may ask? Well, Balor hasn't had the best luck since he's been drafted to Monday Night Raw. And this scenario gives WWE enough time to properly book him to win the contract and ultimately turn heel or play a top babyface role against a heel champion, which could either be AJ Styles, Edge, Seth Rollins, etc. Either way, I'd pay to see both or all of those matches. Now, Io Shirai is still on the NXT 2.0 roster, but we all know that changes are made after WrestleMania. We all know that call-ups are made after WrestleMania, specifically the Raw after WrestleMania and the SmackDown after WrestleMania. And we know that SmackDown is lacking some star power in its women's division. Io Shirai would be a great fit to raise the stakes. Plus, we know that she does have great outcomes and great luck with ladder matches. Number 2 may be an eye-opener because it's the reunion of one of the best and most dominant tag teams in WWE history. It's the reunion of Cesaro and Sheamus, better known as The Bar. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen both guys involved with each other, including Sheamus' protege, Ridge Holland. Now, we know Ridge is sidelined with an injury, and it would make sense to slowly build towards a reunion, especially since SmackDown is lacking tag team power. The Bar would be perfect competitors for likes of the Usos, New Day, and even the Viking Raiders. The main thing here is that it would be the best utilization of talent, since both Cesaro and Sheamus are both somewhere lost in the shuffle on Friday Night SmackDown. So a reunion of The Bar would not only be entertaining, but it'd be the best thing for both guys going forward on Friday Night SmackDown. At number 1, I have a prediction that can turn the entire wrestling world upside down. And it is in regards to the hottest free agent who may end up coming home. Because let's be honest, a true rebel heart doesn't really walk away. That's right. At number 1, I predict the return of Johnny Gargano in 2022. But this time, not to NXT 2.0, but to the main roster, either Raw or SmackDown. Now, Gargano is currently unsigned and getting ready for his and Candice's baby, so there's no rush at this present time. but when the time is right, I can see him coming home. Plus, if we do get to have him come back, he can just pick up where he left off before with Grayson Waller, who took him out, eventually leading to his separation from WWE. Now, why? Well, to set up the inevitable return to take out Waller, only on either Raw or SmackDown, like I said. So it's clear that WWE has plans for Waller, so expect to see him on the main roster sometime in 22, which is why when Johnny Gargano does come back, does return to WWE, he can just pick up where he left off and take out Grayson Waller. And when that happens, expect to hear Rebel Heart once again, only this time on WWE's main stage. And before you go, please like, subscribe, and check out more wrestling content right here on the Angle Podcast.